All right, Shalom. Like to start off by saying Call Halayim, La Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rahak, Kwadash. Double honors to the apostles and bishops and elders of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Shalom to the fellow laborers out there doing the work in truth and in sincerity, especially during these times. Shalom to the few Akwaf that believe as well. A hearty shalom to you other laborers and believers that are scattered throughout the face of the earth. Even if you're among the heathen and even look like the heathen who are speckled Israelites to the household of faith, which is the elect, I want to say shalom to you. And back at you with another quick Lord with an edifying lesson. And it's, the Edomite male is declining. And this video, which is courtesy of the young Turks, which I want to say fair use, fair use. Of course, my video is not monetized, only for literary and commentary purposes, and more importantly, biblical purposes. So, with that, fair use, fair use. I caught one of this video earlier at work, and I was like, man, this video that's telling what's really going on with Esau, because really the calamity of Esau is really upon him. Okay, so let's get this scripture real quick. This is the book of Jeremiah 49 and verse 8. It says, "Flee ye, turn back the well deep, O inhabitants of the Den, for I will bring the calamity of Esau upon him, the time that I will visit him." Right, and according to Lamentations, the 4th chapter, the Lord is visiting Esau. Also, it goes into what? Esau being exposed, right? Now, the word calamity, I'm going to look this word calamity up first real quick. Because the word calamity, right? It says this on the online etymology. Calamity, damage, state of adversity, a great misfortune or cause of misery. All right. And this is what's going on among the Edomites. They're miserable, man. They're miserable because why? Their kingdom is falling, and the sign of their kingdom falling is their lives are basically withering away. This is why you have a lot of self-deletion among the Edomite male and woman, whether it be the average Edomite man, so-called white man, all right, or to be the ones in the wealthier parts that can't bring in that that wealth they once was bringing in, like the farmers, blue collar workers, the so-called middle class, you know. So they're experiencing losses. A lot of them deleting themselves because why? Now they're being faced with the same problems and sufferings as Jake, man. That Jake had to go through. So that's what's going on, man. All right, the Lord is really, He's really, basically bringing you down, and everything in your society is failing, man. Let me get some real quick. This is Lamentations 4, and I'm going right to the point, verse 22. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion, which is us as Israelites. Our punishment is up. It says, He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thy sins. And that's what the Lord is doing. He's pulling back the veil and showing you who the wicked is, which is the Esau Edom, begin with their least on down to the lowest Edomite. And basically, since they've been getting exposed, what happened? They've been experiencing a rapid decline. So yeah, man, that's what's going on right now. Okay, the Lord is actually visiting the iniquity, which is the wickedness. All right, because iniquity goes into what? Sins upon sins, and then there's a man of sin. Okay, there's a man of sin, which is Esau, the Edomite. And he experiencing what? Misfortunes and losses, right? Damage, right? Because why? That's the Lord's doing. That's the Lord bringing the calamity again upon Esau. All right, and he's not done with him. Okay, so let's play the clip. I want to say fair use, fair use. Of course, my video is not monetized, only for literary commentary and biblical purposes. So with that, fair use, fair use. Let's check out this video clip.
In my opinion, the pendulum has begun to swing too far. And what does that lead to? It leads to not a little discontent, and not just the right wing. It leads to much larger discontent and risking the pendulum swinging back.
A controversial new piece in Compact Magazine, written by Jacob Savage, makes the claim that beginning in 2014, classically liberal American institutions intentionally avoided hiring white men. In fact, the piece claims that some institutions even admitted that they were outright discriminating against white men. So the piece is called Lost Generation. And before we get to the details and the arguments that are made within the piece, Cenk, your 2 cents?
Well, so there's a theory.
So in what's really going on is that the Edomite male been on the decline for some time now. And now it's just starting to really take an effect where they're actually feeling it, you know? And since the DEI was done away with, all right, DEI, benefited you Edomites, men and women. And whatever Jake you put in there to fill the quota, but primarily, overwhelmingly, it benefited you Edomites, man. Okay? Because you're not talented. You're not creative. We're better than you at everything we do. We're better than you in life, period, man. So you're already at a disadvantage, man. This is why guys like Jimmy the Greek, he understood, because if you don't know the story of Jimmy the Greek was a sports analyst, and he knew that the so-called black athletes, which is, he was talking about Judah. That's who the tribe of Judah is, so-called Negro or black or so-called African American here in America. They really the tribe of Judah. But he noticed that they were born with a strong structure. Therefore, they're going to be a better athlete and dominate things, as far as sports world, over the so-called white male, the Edomite male. All right. He noticed that. Okay. Why? Because he goes back to here. Genesis 25 and verse 20. I started at 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren, and the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived. And the children struggled together within her, which we know that they were in there fighting in her womb, in Rebekah's womb. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb. So keep in mind that there are twins in her belly, which they were fraternal, not identical. But they were struggling, meaning they was fighting. They was contending with one another in her womb. And so she's like, hey, Lord, you blessed me with these kids. Why are they fighting? Why am I have all this pain, basically? And it was from them fighting. Right? It says, and the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb. So though there are two babies in your womb, Shlaki. Though there are 2 babies in your womb, all right, they're 2 different nations, right? It says, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. There are 2 different mannerisms, 2 different spirits, man. It says, and the one people shall be stronger than the other, which that's clearly us. And the elder shall serve the younger, okay? And that's getting ready to happen, in full effect in the kingdom. All right, but the point is, the one people shall be stronger than the other people. We're just stronger, better, stronger and better than you in anything, We're the spiritual ones, we have a strong spiritual self, awareness and alertness. We have physical strong features, as far as like we able to, dominate sports, as a nation. So-called Negro, the so-called Latino, so-called Native American. We're Jacob dominate, man. Okay? Jacob dominate, all right, over Esau. They can't compete. And this is why, excuse me, this is why once Jake got into the things that they got into, sports world, entertainment world, they took over. I mean, that's how it goes, man. So it says, the stronger shall be, the one people shall be stronger than the other people. And that show you that, this guy be talking about us. Because we're way stronger than the so-called white man. Okay? And we're way more creative than him. So the fact that these Edomite males are losing their jobs, and of course, you guys, your forefathers set the goal, all right? Your people set the goalpost, and you moved it according to which Jake got in there because you didn't want Jake to take over. But when Jake finally, kind of like the NFL, all right? NFL have an overwhelming amount of so-called black quarterbacks. Okay, because that was like an Edomite position. They would lead the team. They did that because they portraying Jake as not being good leaders. But look what happened. Now there's a explosion of black quarterbacks. They just took over. Okay. The highest contract in the NFL among quarterbacks is what? Lamar Jackson. So there you go. But anyways, let's continue on. Let's play the video.
Well, so there's a theory that white people or males or whoever's in the majority cannot be discriminated against. That theory is false. So were there good reasons to discriminate against white men, and did that discrimination happen? Well, let's find out first, and then we'll discuss.
So the piece alleges that for about a decade, young white men have been systematically shut out of various institutions, including journalism, academia, and even Hollywood. Now, bear with us while we present the receipts that were provided in the piece. It's not like it was just, a big ranting article with no actual evidence. And honestly, some of this evidence is pretty damning. So Savage...
Boo-hoo. Boo fucking who? Because the Edomite male is a two-time loser. Because he's a two-time loser, people are supposed to care about him now. No, man. Let me see. A lot of them, like I said, a lot of them is self-deleting themselves, man. Let's grab let me see something. Bear with me 1 second. Let me grab something real quick. Let's grab it on here. All right. The book of Baruch 4, and it should be around the 27th verse. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, 4 and 31. Okay. Now I'm going to try to grab it on the GNT, if I may. I'm going to grab it on the GNT, right? It's rock. So that one needs to rock. Let me see. Motherfucker can't get to my... Okay, here we go. Salakia. So this is Baruch. What's that? Baruch 4. I want to see what it says on the NLT. Okay. Baruch 4 and 31. Because it's pretty much... Some of it's saying the same thing, but some of it were a little different where it's plain, right? So Baruch 4 and 31, it says, misery will come to those who mistreated you and then rejoice when you fail. Right, and this is what we're experiencing, man. Our enemies are in misery. All right, and we're supposed to feel sorry for these fucking devils, man? Hell no. All right, they're in misery right now. They're catching hell, and that's befitting because why? The Lord said He's gonna put the curses. All right, let's get that real quick. The Lord said He's gonna put curses on our enemies, man. All right, Deuteronomy 30:7, and the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. Right, and that starts with the Edomite. All right, Psalms 83 tell you the whole list of the enemies of us, but let's start with the Edomite, man, who's in the ruling seat right now. Right now, which is Esau, Edom, the Edomite. We're under the Edomite rule right now. He's the one that's all right. He's the one that, or the main one that persecuted us. Now he's being persecuted. All right, because the nations are coming against him. Also, he losing his fucking kingdom. So yeah, he's miserable. Let's see. Back in Baruch 4 and I'm on the GNT. In verse 32, it says, misery will come to those cities that made your children slaves. Misery will be the fate of Babylon. That city will swallow up her children. Right. It's over, man. And we're in Babylon the Great. We're in Babylon the Great, the daughter, also known as the daughter of Babylon. All right, where it mentions the Edomite. All right, Psalms 137. It mentions Edom and it mentions Babylon. Okay? So we're watching, Babylon, or the Babylonians, the modern day Babylonians, be miserable. All right, they're crying and shit. Because why? Their lives is being altered because it's time for them to go down. All right, simply. All right, let's play. I'm gonna go to this particular point in the interview and hear him say something. Let me see here. Bear with me 1 second. Yeah, again, fair use, fair use. I want to hear his take on it. Okay.
And I'm just against discrimination of all forms. I just don't think it's helpful.
So
now it's discrimination against the Edomite. This is his system. This is his kingdom. How is it discrimination against the Edomite? Not a lower level Edomites playing the victimhood too, like they're elites, like the tiny tops. Give me a fucking break, man.
Savannah, we never talked about it on air. We didn't make a big deal out of it. In fact, not a big deal. We made no deal out of it. And partly because TV is a little bit of a different animal too. Like if you want to be able to represent your viewers, and it's just a different formula. For example, in cities that are heavily African-American, you'll have more African-American local TV anchors. In cities that have a more of an Asian population, you'll see more Asian anchors. I don't think that's the worst thing in the world, right? I get what they're trying to do. So it's a little bit different. On the other hand, if you're a doctor or you're a writer, I don't know that we need that kind of diversity, as part of the job. But we still don't do it, and we have enormous diversity. We just hire the best people. But guys,
and that's what it all comes down to. Why can't a company just hire the best people? And that's not you, Esau. It's not you, man. You were never the best. You were never the best. And this is why you made your job system to keep Jake out. You kept Jake out of these different jobs. Now Jake got these high-end jobs. You look at that, matter of fact, the job I'm at now. Or I drive for a company that Jake running shit, man. From the head on down. Now Esau probably own it, but Jake running the plant or facility, the whole facility. And matter of fact, the head of our facility is Ephraim. Yeah, Ephraim, Judah, another tribes all over there. Issachar, Gad. That's running shit. So Jake presence in the job market right now is heavy. Especially, the ones that got some talent or got some leadership roles. They in there doing their thing. While Edomite men can't even get those type of jobs. And they don't want them type of jobs. Let's continue on.
meaning you needed affirmative action, otherwise nobody could break in. But if you continue affirmative action forever, number one, it eventually leads to the pendulum swinging so much that you have reverse discrimination, which is what we're seeing here. That leads to huge resentment throughout the country. And by the way, white folks, if you're resentful about this, can you now empathize with black folks and women and other minorities who felt just as resentful earlier when they weren't allowed into these careers, right?
Yeah, that's
and
a great point.
Professions.
See, you allow Jake women in there, and every once in a while a Jake man, but overwhelmingly it was, you didn't like man and women. They had them jobs, DEI and all that stuff. Now that shit shut down on you, Trump took it away, now you're miserable, pretty much. So let's play a little more, then we'll get out of here.
Great point. And I want to end on this because I think this was a thought-provoking excerpt from Savage's piece. He writes, if you were 40 in 2014, born in 1974, beginning your career in the late 90s, you were already established. If you were 30 in 2014, you hit the wall because the mandates to diversify didn't fall on older white men who in many cases still wield enormous power. They landed on us.
Yeah. To that point, last couple points. What percentage of people in Congress are white males? 65%. So
right, because this is your kingdom. These are your laws. Okay. So again, man, the curse is coming up on you. Now you're being afflicted. Now you're, yeah, you're just simply being afflicted right now. Now the curse is going on you now, and you don't like it. You don't like it. This is why you got all this, like, again, the self-deletions, man. Because, hey, we're at that time, man, where he might get ready to have his fall as far as his kingdom. And let me get this real quick. This is the book of Isaiah 19. Let's go a little bit. Isaiah 19 and 14. The Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as the drunken man staggered in his vomit. Right, in every work of Egypt, which that's another title for America, or referring to America, right, which is spiritually Egypt, right? It says what? The Lord is basically causing every work here to err. All right, the word err means, let me see. So the word err. The Hebrew word there is thaya, to err, one to go astray, stagger. Go down. It says of intoxication. No, that's not it. Let's see. To cause, to err, mislead, or I say morality. Morally. I say Mariah, Shalakia. To cause to err, mislead, mentally, or morally. That's what it is. Okay? And this place don't have no fucking morals. Okay? This place don't have no fucking morals. Never was morals in America. America was built upon wickedness, man. Okay? But see, the Lord is raising up his people. All right, he set up the horn of Israel, man. All right, and even on a carnal note, man, Israel is doing better than Esau in his own kingdom, and he don't like that because they'll at least cut you out of the blessing that Isaac blessed Esau with, right? The fatness of the earth. So it's not our fault. All right. He cut you out your own blessing, but of course we cut out because we hate it. All right, we're cut out the basically when I say cut out, we're cut out as far as participating you know, in these different job roles in your kingdom, we're cut out, man. All right, while you enjoyed these good jobs, these high-end jobs for so long, Jake was on the fucking bottom just catching hell, working shit jobs. Now you're faced with working shit jobs and you don't want to work them. You know? But Jake is doing good. Even though this place is getting ready to, to go out, Jake is still doing better than Esau. All right, verse 15. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. Okay? It's over, man. Why you think the young white male, so-called white male, which is the Edomite male, why you think he's deleting himself? Why he's miserable? Even his woman is she getting with Jake. Jake got Esau woman. Because why? That's a sign of changing of power, man. You know? And we're at that point where it's getting ready to happen, man. It says that what? Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So Esau is going down and Jacob is on the come up. You know, and that's what's going on, man. So this is why Edomite men, basically are through. You can't take the shit. You know? So let me see. It was a little moment more on that video clip. Again, fair use, fair use.
People in Congress are white males, 65%. So the older category is still stacked with white males in power. We argue for balance.
Yeah. You still in power. Because the Lord ain't took you out of power yet. Out of that power seat. You know? So, yeah, man. Let's play a little more. It's like it.
Tough position because people say, are you on the left or are you on the right? You have to be white or black or this, that. No, balance. That's the sensible thing to do. And finally, guys, at some point, we've got to be one nation. If we're not one nation and we're just a group of...
And the Lord ain't for us being one nation. Right? The Lord says that he separated the sons of Adam. Deuteronomy 32. Okay? But hey, man. And the Lord is really setting us up, man. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shah. He's setting us up to inherit the kingdom, man. So you think we're doing good now? Wait till we get the kingdom. This is Psalms 50 and verse 21. It says, these things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such an one as thyself, but I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes. And let's start with the elect. All right. With all this going on, yeah, Jake is doing good, but guess what? It starts with the elect of the nation of Israel. That's on the come up. This little carnal shit is just a preview to what's getting ready to happen, which is a total takeover. All right, so with that, I'm gonna end it right there. I'm gonna say, Lord, when did you be edified? Shalaki, I was a little tired, from work, but Lord, when you've been able to hear me and that you were edified. With that, I'm gonna say all praise and glory be unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah HaKodash. Shalom to the elect, and I'll see you next video, Lord willing. Shalom.